Have you ever stood on a beach and watched waves crash against the shore? Or stared out at the seemingly endless horizon of the ocean, contemplating the vastness of it all? But stop right there. Have you ever wondered what sets the tides in motion? Well, you might already know that the moon has something to do with it, but trust me, the reality of what's going on will absolutely blow your mind. So let's unravel the enigma of tides, arguably one of Earth's most mesmerizing phenomena, tied directly to celestial mechanics. Spoiler alert, it's not just the moon's gravity, there's so much more to it. Let's start with the basics. The ocean tides refer to the periodic rise and fall of sea levels across our planet. However, we aren't just talking about a slow, lazy slosh of water here. Tides operate on an exact schedule, as if they're nature's own, perfectly tuned clockwork, primarily driven by gravitational pulls. And yes, the moon plays the starring role, but not in the way many people think. You might have heard that tides are caused by the moon's gravity pulling on Earth's oceans. That isn't wrong, but it's hugely oversimplified. To truly understand tides, we need to talk about a phenomenon called tidal force. You see, gravity doesn't just pull, it stretches. Imagine holding a slinky toy in your hands. Pull it gently, and the slinky elongates. The tidal forces are like that, but on a cosmic scale for our planet. The moon's gravitational pull is stronger on the side of Earth that's closest to it, while being weaker on the opposite side. This creates two bulges of water. Yes, two. One on the side facing the moon, and another on the far side. Pause and think about that for a second. Isn't it strange? The far side bulge isn't being pulled by the moon, but is caused by the counteraction of Earth's motion and gravitational interplay. Mind-blowing, right? But hold on. Here's where it gets even more fascinating. The moon's gravitational pull works in perfect synchrony with the Earth's own gravitational forces. Earth and moon are essentially locked in an eternal gravitational dance. Because of this, as the Earth spins on its axis, these water bulges move around the planet, creating the high and low tides we know and love, or sometimes fear, depending on where you live. Now, if you're a keen observer, you must wonder, why don't all tides occur at equal heights everywhere on the planet? That's because of three things: Earth's rotation, its wobble, and, wait for it, the geography of the Earth itself. That's right. Local landforms, the depth of nearby waters, and surrounding ocean currents all play a role in amplifying or diminishing tidal action. For example, the Bay of Fundy in Canada experiences some of the highest tides in the world, reaching an astonishing 50 feet in height. Meanwhile, some regions have barely noticeable tidal changes. What's truly mind-boggling, though, is the long-term relationship between tides and the moon. Are you sitting down for this? Because the moon is actually moving away from Earth at a rate of roughly 3.8 centimeters per year. I know that doesn't sound dramatic, but over millions of years? It adds up. This orbital evolution is directly influenced by tidal forces. You see, as tides slosh back and forth across the planet, they exert friction on Earth's rotation. That friction ever so slightly slows down Earth's spinning motion, transferring this lost rotational energy to the moon. It's like Earth is whispering, "Here, take some of my energy." As a result, the moon waltzes further away from us each year. Long, long ago, our days used to be much shorter, and the moon much closer. And yes, this means the show we call the tides looked vastly different back then. And we're not just done yet. Let's talk about how tides affect life. No, not just surfers and sailors. Tides have influenced entire ecosystems and shorelines over millennia. Marine life has evolved in conjunction with the tidal dance. For example, countless species like crabs, mussels, and algae depend on tidal ranges to regulate feeding and breeding. Some fish use tides to time their migrations and movements, while others use the force of tides to help scatter their eggs far and wide into the ocean. But tides don't just stop at biology. The energy of tides has inspired human innovation. Did you know there are power plants today designed to harness tidal forces for renewable energy? One such example is the Sihwa Lake Tidal Power Station in South Korea. It's the largest of its kind and produces clean energy by capturing the kinetic energy of shifting tides. Who knew something as ancient and natural as ocean tides could be leveraged to help tackle modern environmental challenges? Of course, while most of this has been about the moon, our closest neighbor isn't working alone. Can we give a slow clap for the sun, folks? While the sun is 400 times farther away than the moon, it's also 27 million times more massive, exerting its own not-so-insignificant gravitational pull on Earth. On their own, the gravitational effects of the moon and sun would produce moderate and separate influences. But when the sun, moon, and Earth align during full moons or new moons, their combined gravitational pull leads to what scientists call spring tides. Remember, these don't have anything to do with the spring season. Instead, spring tides are super high and super low tides because both the sun and moon are tugging on Earth's waters in unison. Conversely, during the moon's quarter phases, when the sun and moon are at roughly right angles relative to Earth, their gravitational forces tend to cancel each other out just a little. These are called neap tides, and they are the mildest tides in terms of height variation. Isn't it wild that this celestial choreography plays out above us, affecting the very waters of our planet? So now you have it. When you stand on a beach watching the waves lap onto the shore during high and low tides, you're witnessing a cosmic dance between Earth, moon, and sun. It's a shared rhythm, a timeless ebb and flow that connects every drop of ocean water to celestial forces far beyond our reach. It's a reminder that even as we go about our daily lives, our world is constantly in motion, tethered to the gravitational pulls of our cosmic companions. The next time you step onto the sandy shores, watching the tide rise or fall, I hope you'll stop for a moment and consider the invisible forces at work. Forces so grand they stretch time and space, yet intimate enough to touch our planet's shorelines with gentle, rhythmic persuasion. Isn't that truly incredible? The moon, the sun, and our very Earth, all in harmony, bringing cycles of motion to the watery cradle of life itself. And that is the fantastic story of tides.